questions. First
Live?
of all,
All right. Hello, guys. Welcome back again to the third session of the Summer Ray podcast. Today, we are at the Vitality Stadium for the Reconnect Conference 2025. And I can say it's been an amazing conference so far.
yes.
We've spoken to so many people, the keynote speaker, Kevin Henney, and then some, other people, attendees as well. But now we have a great woman in tech seated here before us. She's going to tell us everything about herself, what she does, and we get to know more about her. So, guys, join me. Let's welcome Marina.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. And can I just start by saying that anybody who's watching this should then go and watch the rest of your YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
Tons of very good, very interesting interviews about journeys and how different professionals went about their careers. So definitely go and check them out.
Thank you for following our
I'm
channel.
a huge fan.
Yeah, because I think since the day you learnt about it, you've been motivating us, and then we appreciate that very, very much.
It's amazing.
Thank you. All right, so how has the conference been for you so far?
It's amazing at so many different levels. First of all, I love Dorset. I used to come here for coastal walks, so for me it's coming back down memory lane.
Wow.
I live in Rome now, which is my third country where I'm starting my career, so to speak. Every time you get to a different country. You're kind of starting from scratch, whether it is from the language aspect, the cultural aspect, but then sharing always this journey on my tech career that's taken me to amazing places, to London, to Rome. I mean, amazing. I'm so grateful.
Amazing. So I know your story. You're from Argentina.
I'm originally from Argentina.
Argentina, and now you work with one of the biggest, tech companies.
Also a partner of a Reconnect conference.
Exactly, Prima.
Yes.
And that's crazy. That's like a long journey, coming all the way from Argentina, moving down to Europe now, and then working and living, growing your family here in Europe. We'd love to know all about that.
I'd love to. For me, one of the reasons that prompted me to leave my home country, which I still love and I'm still very much have bonds with it, the rest of my family lives there, is because I quickly understood that the type of things I wanted to do at the time were not available, those opportunities in my country. Even though it would have been easier for me to stay there and maybe get a
something
job.
that works,
Yeah, that could have happened, but I knew I wanted to get out there and learn more. So I left Buenos Aires to, first of all, I was traveling a lot. I used to go to Atlanta. I used to work for CNN.
Oh.
Yes, as a research.
Learning more about you.
That's what the podcast is about.
As a research manager, my job there was I was working for a network set of channels, so Cartoon Network, CNN, TNT.
Wow.
And my job was to explain to the gringos, as we call them in Latin America, how people watch TV in Latin America. So my job was to go around Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Argentina.
That's a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. But that was so enriching for me because then you can really understand the different
cultures,
impact, and then have the ability before ChatGPT to sum up all the different cultural elements and then make a summary and then make recommendations to my bosses in Atlanta of why they needed to customize in a certain way their offering for Brazil that is very different to Mexico and similarly for Argentina. So that ability of thinking laterally and being able to compare different experiences certainly is a transferable skill that I think us as people who are travelers or citizens
Yes,
of the
of the
world,
world,
which
yeah.
you guys also are, we have that kind of outsider view that can
Yeah.
help us connect on patterns or identify some things that for the locals might be harder to sum up.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, another thing that I think, and I also see it here, and then when I moved to London, is that when you're in a foreign territory, you yourself are more open to new connections,
Yes.
True.
right?
Yes.
Because you're constantly adapting to your
Yeah.
environment.
Yes.
And that makes you very good at, again, thinking about different paths that you didn't exactly thought about in the first place.
First place, yeah.
But when you go there and you see there's an opportunity there and you go for it. So when I started my career, I was more working with research and marketing and programming. But then I started to become more interested on quantitative analysis. I was running focus groups, which are very good, but very qualitative.
Yeah.
And I understood that I needed to scale better through quantitative analysis, where you can, take different data sets and combine different type of data sources to then create your model, your data model. So for what is it that you're trying to prove? So that got me interested in data science eventually, and
Wow.
it was the right time because when I moved to London to do my master on digital media, then I was hired by Google in London. And it was a very interesting time for tech. It was the early 2010s, and I was at the cutting edge of this new concept at the time of data science,
Oh,
of
yeah.
machine learning,
Yeah.
and then I was so interested that I decided to make it official, and then I did a second master on data science as well.
Wow.
And that really helped me. So combining your work experience and then if you're really passionate about something and you want to establish yourself, go back to academia, which was a challenge because I was working also
Yes.
full time. But I knew I wanted to kind of pursue that expertise and I needed to have the academic credentials.
Amazing. So from Atlanta,
Yes.
you moved to London, right?
Yes,
Right.
from
Okay.
from different parts of the world because I was traveling so much that I would
Yeah.
spend very very little time in my own
Your own
house.
space, all right.
And in fact, I got burnt out from all the traveling,
traveling, yeah.
and that's when I decided to move to London and said, I'm just gonna stop
Stay here.
and just learn for a year. And
Okay.
it was the happiest year in my life.
Aww.
Wow.
It was the happiest year because I was a poor student, not a dime, in a city that is expensive as London. You guys know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
London is very expensive.
But
That's why we avoid it.
good for you. Wise decision. But also, again, because you're open to all these experiences,
Yes.
you would go and I would, for example, use my personal skills as a trading value. So I was teaching Spanish and
Okay.
somebody else was teaching me how to play violin.
Wow.
So that was nice. And it's not necessarily something that has to do with a job that you're going to
I
get
love
because clearly I'm not a professional violinist,
Okay.
nor should I be.
Well, it's a good skill. I would love to learn the piano as well.
There you
So
go.
it's
Go for it.
I definitely love.
But it creates the connections
Yeah.
that you have through having this open mindset.
Good mindset. Great. Do you have any questions?
No, that's really heavy. All you just said.
Because
it's,
we had when we were having our conversation with Kevin, he also mentioned about his interest in playing guitars.
Yes.
And then we're like, yeah, like that's why we do this. Like even we in like technical fields, we still need like a way to let out like some creativity,
Exactly.
and then or something to distract us from what we are mainly doing. So it's always important that we feed our creativity or our skills or our passions, as you said. So yeah.
I felt very strongly also about that, and I tell you what, I again a skill that I'm learning right now that it has nothing to do with my day-to-day
Yeah.
job, but it's actually helping me.
Yeah.
So I'm taking opera singing lessons.
ooh.
I'm trying to be a soprano.
Wow.
Again, I shouldn't be one because I'm not there, yes. But what that was really about, that creativity outlet for me was about finding my own voice. So when we sing opera, you as a woman, you tend to have a higher pitch,
Yes.
which women we tend to lower a natural pitch
Yeah.
because we don't want to sound too shrilling for
Yeah.
men and everything. And in a way, you're hiding a part of yourself, of your essence, again, for me as a woman. And when you have to, in order to sing opera, you have to learn how to breathe with your diaphragm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a difficult thing to do,
Wow.
but it connects you with, literally, with your essence, with your solar plexus, to let out your true voice.
Wow.
Wow.
And that in itself then helped me to be a more confident speaker at a conference as this one.
Wow. I didn't know about this.
Wow.
Maybe I should take some opera lessons myself.
Maybe you could be a wonderful tenor. I can hear it. You could be a wonderful
I think
tenor.
when I was a kid, I sang tenor once in the choir. But yeah, maybe I might try it again.
Speaking
Anyway,
about the conference, so what inspired your talk today at Reconnect conference?
Yes. So I came here to talk about data governance and in particular automation around it.
okay.
So as a data scientist, I was obviously working in the field of AI and all these and how to turn manual processes into more automated ones.
Yeah.
And when I started working in data governance, because this was another mind shift for me. Before I was seeing myself as a data scientist and running my models and everything. But then I started to think myself as a data professional. And that
Okay.
sounds the same but not quite, because the moment you start seeing you as a kind of wider type of area of expertise as such as data governance, then you have to learn more about data quality, data literacy, management, access management, and all these different aspects. And again, I found that it was enriching my career and giving me an opportunity to become more intentional about my career steps. So data governance, it's, as you guys know, it's a set of processes and standards that organizations have for managing data through its life cycle. So from the point of ingestion to the output, and then even to how to deprecate a data product, something that you might have. So in that moment, then I immediately started looking at all these other different aspects that I wasn't considering as a data scientist. And the other thing that really helped me is I left Google, and I was so happy when I did that, actually. Yes, because
Tell us about it.
well, because working for big tech for me was very enriching, and I wouldn't have been able to access all this knowledge
That you
Yes.
such as data science and machine learning, but also if I stayed there, that was my comfort zone, and it would have been similar to staying in Buenos Aires and not going for something else.
Okay.
So whenever I find myself in my comfort zone, I'm like, maybe
it's
it's time
easy
for a
to just
change.
stay. Okay.
And then I moved to the insurance industry.
Oh, okay.
And the moment you do that, also, you are effectively doubling your employment opportunities. So you're not just working in tech, but you also know about insurance. And insurance, for instance, but it could be like pharmaceuticals, it could be consumer products, it could be so many other different things. In the case of insurance, we're a very highly regulated industry. So you have to learn more about all these regulations that we have, and you talk to legal teams and compliance teams, and so again, for me it's always about how do you what kind of transferable skills you can take with you to your next role.
Yes.
And after that, how do you become more employable through your work experience?
That's good. That's a good one.
I like that point,
like that, yeah.
actually. Yeah, because if you think about these roles generally, sometimes these roles, they have the same skills, but some people can be quite specific on you need to have worked in this, or you need to have a knowledge of that, so you want to make sure that you are able to work across industries,
so
rather than just
valuable,
be comfortable with like
one place.
And also, like, managers and your employers are always tempted to pigeonhole you.
Yeah.
Like, Marina's going to be working on this area because she knows very well about this.
Yes.
And that's fine,
That's
and
fine,
I
yeah.
understand that. But my key always is I work for my role. So I have to fulfill my role, whatever that is,
Yeah.
data analyst, data scientist, whatever. But I want that role to work for my career.
Yes,
That-
exactly.
so that role helps me in my stepping stone to
Yes.
the next
Next
Yes.
level, yeah.
role that I want to have.
Yeah.
And I was always very intentional about the projects that I would
That you
choose
work
for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. Once I got you know, to know my manager at the time, and I understood what the role was. I would immediately start pitching projects within the role, the scope of my
Wow.
role, but that would help me get to the next level.
Wow.
So if I wanted to learn more, that's how I got started with data science. At first, I was just a volunteer. I was just assisting, you know, because I wanted to get into that field. And then more and more, I started to build my own portfolio there through the role that I was doing at the moment, but always with a view of where I wanted to go next.
Wow,
Great.
that makes sense.
I was-
I wish I had the luxury of choosing my projects right now.
Listen,
But
you're
yeah.
hosting a podcast here.
Podcast,
I think
yeah.
you are very good at thinking laterally.
I was reading a bit about you before the podcast today, and I saw you do a lot of work in like supporting women in tech.
Yes.
So I'd just like you to speak a bit about that, and then just for
Yeah.
our audience, yeah.
So I've always been very passionate about being an advocate for women,
Yes.
especially through my own family history. I was told many times that what I needed to do as a woman. My father wanted me to be a literature teacher, and that's fine because that's what he knew. But I rejected that. I said no. I want to choose my own career path. That meant at the time that I had to pay for my own university studies.
wow.
Because that was what was available for me at the time.
Yeah.
But actually, it helped me
Yeah.
because it got me financial independence,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was key. Not just
Very
to study what I
key.
wanted, but to also go traveling when I wanted
Yes.
to do the different things, which then helped me in my career, as I
True.
was saying. And then I'm also very conscious right now. So at the time it was about empowering myself. But now, many times, I'm fine. I'm the only woman in the room. But not once or twice. Over and over
Over
and
again.
consistently. And I'm always thinking, how do we get more women
More
in this
women.
room?
True.
Because I think that as with coming from different ethnical backgrounds, they are important because having a diverse range of voices help you also with people management,
Yes.
with the products that you're designing, etc., etc. And there has been so many articles written about this.
Yeah.
But also for me, it's about I have a daughter who's here with
Yeah.
me today at the conference, and I brought her. I have a son and a daughter. First of all, the son didn't want to come, but I could have brought him as well. But I specifically wanted to bring my daughter so she could see not just her mom at stage, but other female
Wow.
speakers here, other podcast hosts
Wow.
here who are women and who can do what they want, and also be
I just want to
you
give
know,
you a clap for that.
Exactly.
That's really nice. That's
The
really
owners of their career, to me, that's very important. One particular aspect that I've been, since I took over at Prima, I'm also the lead for women in at Prima. And when I started that role, I said, I don't want to have a debate of women and men in the workplace because
Yes.
we're not going to resolve it. And frankly, I don't think I can add much value there. But I want to bring topics that I know are relevant for women and they're sometimes hard to crack to get in.
Yes.
So one of the courses I organized at Prima was around personal finances
Okay.
and how to get started with investing. Because
Wow.
I realized that women are not investing as much as men are.
Men
No.
are.
But it was because the entry barrier was perceived as very high.
Yeah.
I started doing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies 10 years ago, not because I'm a genius, no, but because I come from Argentina and Argentina has a very messy financial situation. the only way for me to send
Secure
money
money,
back
yeah.
to my
It's
family, or
Bitcoin.
if I need
Oh
it,
my-
through crypto.
What?
So I taught myself, okay, I need to open a crypto wallet, I need to do
Yeah.
this, I need to do that, and to set it up for my mother there to also.
Wow.
But those are the things that you're, because you have the confidence of being able to choose your career for yourself,
Yeah.
being able to travel, move continents by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It also gave me the confidence to say, yeah, I can do this. I can
Yeah.
learn about crypto and use
Crypto.
it to my own thing.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be an expert and know the
No.
ins and outs
No.
of blockchain and everything, but to be able to make it available for other people,
Yeah.
especially women,
Yeah.
is a big passion of mine. In particular for women, because in many cases, earning financial independence through
As a
investments is very important, because
Very important.
it might even be the determining cause for living domestic abuse
Yeah.
situation at home.
I always say that as a woman, even if you're not work, I don't know, if your husband says don't work or whatever, like, just make sure you're able to be financially stable, because even if he treats you like the best person in the world,
Yeah.
what if something happens to him, you know,
Absolutely.
whatever, like, life happens basically.
Yes.
Just make sure you're financially independent, I think, as a person, but more
Absolutely.
importantly as a woman as well,
100%.
should be financially.
And then I see
Independent.
my role as a female leader,
Yeah.
to be aware of those
Yeah.
situations and those challenges,
Yeah.
particularly for women, and then design activities that can help them with
Yeah.
that. Such as, of course, we had 4 sessions
Okay.
with an investment specialist
Wow.
who came into the office to explain
Wow.
how to get started with investing.
Wow.
And it was as simple as that. And I mean, yes, of course, you can go to YouTube and watch all the videos and all that. As
But
this
nothing
one,
beats a hands-on session.
Exactly.
Very
Yes.
good. I'm gonna add here as well. I was
Sure.
so funny. I was actually on LinkedIn recently, and I saw a job role, and at the bottom it said, I think about two. For the first time ever, I saw at the bottom it said, studies show that women are less likely to apply for this role. So if you are feel free to like we
Apply.
want you to like send in your application. And it was quite funny to me because, and I really applaud these companies for doing this now, because sometimes you see some roles and it's like, I can't do it, like it's a man's job or whatever. But like, for people to actually start putting that out there now, it means they also, maybe from their data, they've started saying that less women are applying for this job, so they are trying to encourage more women. And I think it's just good to try encourage women to like be in spaces they feel like they cannot be in, or like it's hard for them to be in. So yeah,
I see that all the time. Also, when I have roles open in my teams and people come to talk to me about it, first of all, I think we as managers and companies, we do a terrible job at that job description, right?
Yes.
It's a laundry
It's
list
very long.
of every single grievance you might have, and you
Yeah.
put it as a job and come and solve all these problems,
Oh, yes.
right? And I find that women, if they don't feel like they can tick every single box of that job
Yeah.
description and know exactly what they're doing, then they won't apply. Then you talk to a man and like, yeah, I kind of think I can
Yeah.
do 60% of this.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a good fit for this
Yes.
role. And they go and apply. And,
Yeah.
and it's all about confidence.
Confidence.
It's all about that.
True.
It's about saying like, well, I tell my female colleagues, well, maybe you don't have everything, but if you're like, most of it there, go for
for it.
yeah.
Because what they want is to hear about your experience
Yeah.
and your
Yes.
profile and your expertise, which is unique to you.
Yeah.
So go and show it to them what
Yeah.
you can do,
I agree. I mean, yeah. So yeah, it's great the job you're doing for women, especially at Prima.
Yeah.
Sounds very very lovely. We just want to know, Marina.
Yes.
What do you do in your downtime?
Well,
you told us about
Opera.
opera and stuff, but yeah, when you're not too busy.
Yeah. First of all, I'm very lucky because I live in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, which is Rome. and that in itself, to
I can't
me,
wait. I can't wait to go to Rome.
please, you guys have to come and visit. My commute into work, I swapped my commute from Southeast London into Blackfriars to a
Yeah.
commute that goes through Piazza Navona,
Okay.
Fontana di Trevi, and the Pantheon. So I feel like I'm in a Fellini movie. So just seeing everything that Rome has to give to me, it's like a
Yeah.
huge catch of bit of breath, fresh air.
Fresh air.
Absolutely. I like swimming a lot, and not a lot of people know this about Rome, but Rome is a beach town. Did you know that? I live
No.
20 minutes away from the sea, so I get up very early in the morning. At 7 o'clock, I go swimming in the sea, and it just really refreshes me, relaxes me.
Yeah.
Swimming really helps me.
I bet the beach is better than what we have here.
Oh, no. Dorset, I wouldn't. I love it as well.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah. So physical exercise is definitely very important. The
Nice.
stretching. I even do a lot of weightlifting in my home office.
Yeah.
When I'm in meetings, I'll sometimes, if I can, turn the camera off and start doing some
weights,
weights whilst I'm listening. So to me, that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
And then music. For me, music is not. Obviously, I like opera, and I live in Italy. I mean, where else are you going to learn about opera, right?
Yeah.
But also, it's an opportunity for concentration.
Yeah.
Because I feel like today,
so
where
true.
you have your phone and your screens and everything, and be able to shut down and just
Everything, yeah,
concentrate on the
concentrate.
music, it's a mental exercise for me. It's really about like keeping your attention going for more than 5 minutes. Long stretches that the arias have. So I use it also as almost like a mental gym.
Wow.
That's really nice.
That's
I love
really-
music as well. Okay, one last question for
Sure.
me, just in the interest of time. What is one change that you would love to see in the tech industry over the next few years?
Yes, I think that. Because I
Give me a
feel,
second.
No, I feel very passionate about this, and it's
Okay.
around diversity and having a more diverse voices sitting at the table. For me, it's important. Which right now I think is coming under attack, and that's why I paused, because I feel like all the work that's been done over the last 2 decades, in particular,
That's
around.
going, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I hope not. I hope that we all understand the value of that and that it's not going to go away. But
Right.
if anything, this is the time to really raise our voices in
yeah.
the defense of that, because
Yes.
I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for that. And I know the value that I can bring, being a voice that comes from the other part of the world with my experiences and everything, but it is as valid and equal as other ones who are here. And it's something that I'm really concerned that, particularly for the tech industry, that is not going to concentrate around the same old faces and same
Yeah.
group of people, but that it will continue to have a very rich ecosystem of voices, particularly regarding ethics.
Wow.
I work in data governance now, but I'm also learning more about AI governance. And AI governance has its own set of challenges because, for instance, when you're training a model, you have to be able to explain on which kind of data you're training that model on.
Yeah.
And if it's around, face recognition, that you're training your models not just on a particular set of an ethnicity or a gender, but actually that you have multiple representations of human beings, because it's very well documented what happens when AI cannot recognize a certain group of people. So my biggest wish for the tech industry is that we'll continue to support that diversity, because also the biggest innovators come from the most could come from the least expected places as well.
True. Wow.
I really felt that when you said it's under attack. It is really under attack.
It is under attack, and I can feel it, and it's. But also, we are here,
Yeah.
and we're not going anywhere.
No.
And we are also part of that voice that defends diversity.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's a very beautiful message, and we are going to leave it at that.
Thank you.
So I was gonna ask you what your last words were, but I think that's enough.
My last words is that this is my dream come true. Being here with you guys. Thank you so
Since
much for
February, I
the
wasn't
invitation.
much.
I know. We've been planning this for so long.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity.
We are grateful for you coming, making some time to just come sit and talk with us.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much,
Really
guys.
Thank you so
Okay?
much for coming.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
So we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.